Well, good morning, all. It is Tuesday, March 19th of 2024. Someone didn't mark the calendar. Well, it's been a very interesting morning, besides the fact that people don't know how to drive with a shit. Especially around school zones. Sometimes it's good to be cautious around a school zone, but sometimes you're a little too cautious. And it screws everybody else up. But no harm, no foul. It's just, Jesus, think, for God's sakes. Anyway, this morning I get up, get my newspaper, which is over here. Don't mind my fat ass. Told you, I just started on the bike. Yo, relax. Mayor Adams has been accused, finally, it's been filed for sexual assault. And harassment. Yeah. We'll see how far this goes. But it should be a shit show. It should be a shit show. Tow truck driver is charged in crash. Also, the other thing this morning was, I heard that Trump can't post bond because they're saying he's short on funds to post the bond. That's contradictory to what I'm hearing, that bail bondsmen don't want to take on that much money. So there's a little bit of a conflict between the news and what I'm reading here in the paper. Because it seems like nobody wants to take his bond. Apparently he has it, but no one wants to take the bond, which I find odd. When you can't take the bond and he's got a week to find somebody who takes it, they're going to start seizing his assets, which, quite frankly, is a bunch of crap. The whole thing is a bunch of crap. Okay? There was absolutely nobody hurt in so-called fraudulent trial. Meanwhile, he's got to pay $345 or $400 million, whatever it is. He's liable for something that no one... there was no victim. Even the banks came testified and said, nah, everything's cool. So they're basically running him out of New York City. That's what they want. The man who basically helped build it in the 80s and 90s, they want out of town. That's all they want. That's all they want. Because there's no fraud. There's nothing been fraudulent about the whole case. People will come on and say, well, he lied about his assets and he lied about He lied. I'm not going to say he lied. He embellished what his properties were worth. But banks are not stupid. They will go there and assess the value and say, no. This is what it's worth, according to what we know and our market values. So that's what you get the loan for, based off that. They're not going to base it off your word. Now, they were talking about defrauding insurance companies, which is another bunch of crap, because no insurance company ever came up and said, hey, he paid his taxes, from what I know, because the city assesses the building and then bases their property tax on it. So that's full of shit right there. So now he's stuck between a rock and a hard place because someone has a hard-on for him to get out of New York. Because when you turn around and say Mar-a-Lago is only worth $18 million, you're a fucking jackass. Sorry. So we'll see what happens. He's got a week. I don't know if anybody's going to help him post the bond. He's got, from what I know, or from what I remember reading, he has the bond. He can't find anybody to hold the bond, which I find very strange. I'd have to look into a little more because I'm just going off what I saw this morning. But if there are people who hold bail bonds and don't want to because the amount is too large, that's a problem. That's a problem. I don't understand what, if you have the bond, I mean, if he does anything wrong, they get to keep it. I mean, what the fuck? So, we'll see what happens. I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but the whole thing is crooked, is as crooked as a dog's hind leg, as they say. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. He's probably going to wind up having to pay this money and then probably re-sue to get it back or something. I don't know how the system works in that. All I know is the system is rigged to fuck him good, because when you have made a decision and the trial hasn't even started yet, that's a problem. Sorry, that's a problem. And if no one notices that problem, we're in bigger trouble than you think. Because this can happen to anybody. Now, the thing that New York did was they shot themselves in the foot. Because now that something like this has happened, no one's going to want to invest here. Because everybody does the same thing Trump did. It's just that they decided not to get in the political realm. But every real estate agent does, every person who owns property in New York City does the same thing. And now that because it's Trump, we're going to go after Trump no matter what. That's what she ran on. There's video evidence. So we'll see what happens. If he has to sell his assets, he has to sell his assets. If they grabbed him, they grabbed him. But you're never going to see him invest. And new investors are going to stay away from New York. You've already heard it from big investors already. There's no way they're going to invest in New York anymore. It's too heavily regulated. They go after people they don't like. No, I wouldn't invest in here. Go talk to Kevin O'Leary. He's another one who's got money up the wazoo. Wouldn't he dare to invest in New York or California? So keep it up, New York. This place is going to be a ghost town at some point. You all have a good day. Booyah.